Oh. Oh.
The terrible jokes, right?
What?
Mike, hey, so I think we are frozen. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Should let it go.
All right, so we're back. I hope. All right, so let's.
Hey, Damon, do you want to make a snowman? So,
Ride our
think-
bikes around
I
the
think
hall.
maybe we're back.
are we still on podcast?
Yeah, no, I think we're back. Yeah,
I
we're still doing
I can't
it.
make my joke about Comic-Con and all the girls dress up as Frozen. So I drafted blue-red. Didn't do game day. The guy who actually took it played blue-white control. Basically played like close to the same deck list that Flock played.
Right.
It was kind of funny though because we had a lot of newer players who actually didn't know anything of like what the meta was, right?
Right.
So they're like, we're talking about like Flock Stack and Pro Tour and stuff. And they're like, what's Pro Tour? I'm like, well, it's kind of like it's equivalent like Super Bowl, but for every 3 months kind of thing. It's like Magic Pros, blah blah blah. Explain it to him like, oh, that's really cool. And like, so he's playing mono black, but he's playing like a not mono black devotion like you would see like in the meta, but like just his homebrew mono black deck, which was actually really cool. I mean, he made it to freaking the finals in game day, right, with it, which is awesome. And we're just laughing because he's like, using his Jace to go find his Mutavault, like his win condition and stuff, and we're just giving him crap because he's playing this slow deck, and we're in top 8, so there's no time, And the guy's like, I don't know what's so funny. I just don't know what's so funny. I'm like, dude, he's playing the most boring deck ever. Just you're gonna see in 30 minutes when he kills you. It's not gonna take that long for him to kill me. Yeah, it's gonna take that long to kill him.
45 minutes later.
Yeah, basically, right? So that was really funny. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of RoboCraft on Steam.
RoboCraft. Oh, yeah, you mentioned this.
Yeah, it's like basically what you do is you build like a robot, like a Mars rover type thing, and you attach guns on it, and then you just go and you fight. And you can like level up like your tiers, and so like there's like when you start off, like everybody's little ships look like little blocks with like guns attached to them with like wheels, and then when you get to like level 10, like the tiered level 10, they're like actually look like stuff you'd see from like Star Wars or whatever. Like they're actually like wholly tricked out, like intricate designs and stuff like that, and it just speaks to like the engineer in me. I've been having a lot of fun with it, so that's what I've been doing.
I think I've played absolutely 0 in the last week.
Well, you've been making the new studio.
I have been working on the studio
Oh,
and doing some crazy stuff, so I don't know. I just
with the cards, is it mobile?
Huh?
This studio, because you have.
Oh yeah, there's cards, so it makes it no, it's not mobile. It's not going anywhere. In fact, I think we're here to stay.
Yeah, me too.
I have a cot over there where I can sleep. No. So Blades, tell us about your game day.
Actually, the day before Friday Night Magic, all day long I was like running errands and stuff. So I get done and I just throw this deck together. That I throw together this Esper deck. Partially because I didn't have the lands for the Jeskai control.
Mm-hmm.
So I just threw that together. Also, I felt like it was better for the metagame, where my metagame has a lot of Jund Planeswalker style builds and Jund monsters. I felt like Esper would be slightly better favored there, where it has more creature removal spells, and I went a little bit more heavy on counter spells as well, where I played more negate in my sideboard and stuff. And playing FNM, I just got trounced. I ended at like 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't feeling too good about the deck, which 2-2 for me, like that's
not that great. Yeah, that's a pretty bad night.
3-1 is pretty consistent for me, and that's I'm still not happy with that result.
Sure.
But so I go home and I'm like, okay, I need to fine tune it, and I get through and I take out like some. I was playing 3 Mutavaults. I knocked it down to 2 because the third color you really need that mana fixing it and everything. But it's a lot like Ivan Flock's list from the Pro Tour, but
with an Aetherling.
Actually an Elspeth.
Okay,
that's fair.
And like just black for the removal, and Thoughtseize effects from the board, and Blood Barons in the sideboard as well. So I do that, and I get in the car, and before I leave, I actually our judge that we've been having, George, we were talking before, and he's like, yeah, we're actually not getting anybody out for these Grand Prix trials. like we're actually having problems getting our 8 people. And
Which
I
is
told
crazy
them,
because it's for the Grand Prix Salt Lake that's happening
Yeah.
in our town in like a month.
in a month. So
Less
that's a
than-
bit
buys.
less
shocking,
than,
and I'm
like 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways.
So I'm like, I'm okay with free buys. So go if you get for the one that's happening tomorrow. That's like just 15 minutes up the road from where I'd be anyway. Like, keep me posted, and if there's issues getting up to the top 8, let me know and I'll swing by. Well, the next day I'm driving to game day. I'm all excited, like, oh, that mat is mine today, and then I get a call from George, like, hey, we need extra people. Come in and sign up. So I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I'll.
You get
jump
like a
in there.
time stream multiplier on your points for Planeswalker points for the
Yeah,
GPT,
yeah,
right?
you get extra Planeswalker points, which is good. Which is probably how I'm going to get my buys if I do end up with any. But I drive down there, I sign up, and first round for this Grand Prix trial. Well, it's automatic cut to top 8 because there's only 8 people for the Swiss.
So you just cut the top 4?
No, just cut to top 8. And
So
then
it's just single
elimination after
in
that.
tournament.
Oh, okay.
First person, so I've got this Esper list, and the first person I play is
Yeah, I
a
heard about this.
ramp land destruction deck, to where like turn 4 he's just kill that, kill your land.
It was
kill that
Williams, so...
Yeah, William Soul.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently it's supposed to be
Sorry,
a
that's what
really
he
bad
does.
matchup for me, and I absolutely agree.
Yeah, that's like your best like resource is your lands. In
Yeah,
the
my
control
lands,
deck,
and
right?
he like especially him on the plays like turn 2, Sylvan Carotid or like mana ramper. Turn 3, start killing your lands. And he would have absolutely had me if I wouldn't have had the turn 2 into turn 3 counterspell, which pretty much just saved my bacon. So I
You
was
say you had like
able-
5 counter spells or something like that?
yeah, I
That's what
definitely
saved
had
it?
counterspell heavy, and I beat the first game that way, and then sideboarded into more two casting cost counterspells, and I then continued to proceed to beat him, and I felt pretty lucky to get that matchup, just because I drew well and I kept what I felt I needed to, but like every turn he was playing some sort of land removal spell, and he would end on the Sylvan guy.
Sylvan Carotid?
Sylvan
Not Sylvan
Primordial.
Character, Sylvan
Sylvan Primordial?
Yeah.
Was he
and-
playing Frenzy Tilling?
Yep.
Yeah, Frenzy Tilling is so good. 5 mana,
Yep.
blow up a land, and
Wow.
you get a land.
Yep.
So good.
So that was pretty awkward.
Restoration Angel with it. During Innistrad
Yeah.
Block, he was also playing that same thing with, with
That's
Restoration
rough.
Angels and
And
Acidic
slime?
Slimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, the acidic slime
So
resto angel. I
amazing.
did that for a little bit too, and that just gave you so many free wins. But I was able to pull that out, made it to top 4, where I got paired up against a pretty much the mirror match. He was just blue-white. I think he was like Ivan Flock's exact 75 or something, as far as I could tell. But
Oh, but you had Thoughtseize.
but I had a Thoughtseize
And
main
Heroes
board,
Downfall.
and well, the Heroes Downfall
Why
isn't
one?
as
I
good.
don't understand the whole point between one Thoughtseize.
Well, one
2 makes
Thoughtseize.
sense.
2 makes sense. 1 just seems like you might as well just make it something
I wanted to
else.
get 2. I could not find the room for it,
Oh.
unfortunately.
Gotcha.
I had 2 more in the sideboard, though.
So why
That's
not
fair.
just make it like a something else?
I don't
I don't know.
know.
He did
I
good,
felt
though.
pretty.
He did.
I
No,
felt
I'm not
pretty good about the
questioning
Thoughtseize.
his. I'm just.
You
I've always
are.
seen that.
It pretty much
I am
it was a long,
questioning,
grindy
but
game
not-
of every time I tried to go off there for a while, he would counter everything, and then it wasn't like my opponent was an incompetent player. It's just I had more tricky shenanigans to pull myself out there at the end.
Quicken.
Quicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick
to
and
where-
here's downfall. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I quicken, and then just to go to steal his elixir, and then he scoops in response. And then post sideboard, I just rode Blood Baron to victory because I figured that he was going to side out more of his
Then he
Removal?
should have.
more of his removal. That's what I was more counting on, and because normally in that matchup they keep only like 2 board wipe effects, and where Blood Baron is pro white, I feel pretty confident that he can dodge a lot of their other removal.
I would keep in like 2 Supreme Verdicts. I think.
Yes. Well, I think like
Or
one
if he was
and
running
one. One planar cleansing,
that makes
one-
sense. Get rid of Planeswalkers, too.
Or maybe more planar cleansing, depending on what you got sided in. But as a whole, yes.
But
I
Supreme
think
Verdict can't
one
be
Supreme
countered.
Verdict. Yes, that is definitely the key there. And yeah, I just rode Blood Baron to victory there. So that was pretty easy. And then looking back on it, my finals opponent was playing mono blue, which is actually a wonderful matchup for any control deck, and so I just came into it and I'm like, so I don't care about the buys, and at that point you need to be very careful on
Yes.
what you say,
Yeah.
and that you're not like
I was wondering how you handled that.
giving anything for monetary value.
Right.
And if you just be like, I don't care about the buys, or I was more like, I could go either way. I could take the buys or I could leave them. And I'm like, and then
But you know what I love is packs. I just love Magic cards. That's a thing that I love. I don't know how much you love them.
I'm disinterested in buys.
yeah, and then like my opponent sat there for a second, and then he's just like, yeah, I think I like the buys, and then I'm just like scoop, and so the prize payout for that was.
So did he actually hook you up with the packs though?
Yes,
that's
it
good.
was like
Because like that would be so
'Cause he could have been-
scumbaggy, right? To be like, yeah, man, like, did you want to scoop? And you're just like,
Which you
I
can't
love
ask.
packs.
No, yeah, exactly. You can't ask. You just have to be
Right.
like, mm-hmm.
You just have to trust that he does the
Who
honorable
did you
thing.
play against? Who got the buys?
Joey.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah, Joey would give him the pack.
So
Oh,
yeah. So that happened, and with the prize out of 8 people paying $10 to get in, it was a box for payout. So top 4 got 3 packs, and then second place got 10, and then first place got the buys and 20 packs. So I walked away with 30 packs. So I
Wow.
felt pretty good about that. I feel like 30 packs is better than 2 buys.
For getting through an 8-man tournament?
For
Seems
getting
pretty
through
good.
an 8-man tournament,
Yeah.
it was just like a win-a-box is what it felt
Right,
more or
yeah.
less like.
That is
That
nice.
felt pretty good. The buys were I would have cared more if it was 3 buys, but where it's now only 2 for this upcoming G3.
Might as well play, get adjusted, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
looking back on it, where I did have such a good matchup, I probably should have just played out the match
Just
and
crushed.
just went for the 20 packs.
Yeah, and the buys.
But
But I don't know.
Oh well, it's Joey.
It's a sure thing.
It's Joey.
But it's also
yeah, and
Joey.
it's a friendly
Yeah.
environment as well.
Yep. All right, so that's our combat phase. Moving right along. Bubba-dump, bubba-dump.
Second main phase.
Some good timing.
Let's see. Email feedback. We have quite a bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did. I was shocked at how much feedback we got on that.
Let's see.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. I'm trying to see what I actually
We
did
got
here.
one from Bruce, and we got one from.
So is this first one from Bruce?
Aaron too.
Or is this first one from Aaron? I'm trying to figure out what I did here.
Bruce was the one talking about EDH wanting us.
Oh,
to do
that
an
is
EDH
Bruce. Okay.
episode.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm not going to go into this one. He basically he wants us to do an episode on EDH.
Yeah, and go more in detail in staples and fun stuff. And
Yeah.
I think right after we started as a podcast, like probably when we were in the single digits, didn't we do an EDH episode?
Yeah,
I think we might
did
have it. It's
last-
definitely time we
last November, but yeah, we do need to do a new.
It's about
Yeah.
time to revisit it, I think. So
And some stuff has
Well,
changed in the world of
so
EDH, and we're getting Planeswalkers soon.
It's the weird synergy of like, do we wait till the decks come out, or do we just?
like do a cool prep
Well,
episode.
I don't know.
for
We
the
could
decks.
actually, I think we could do 2 EDH episodes. In the
Yeah.
next couple months. So.
anyway, he gave us some good ideas here for what to include in it, and we'll definitely take that into consideration.
And he also reminded me we had a really funny go back and forth.
Yeah.
Bruce is a francophone.
Bruce is one of the regulars that he likes to email in, and believe me, any of you guys can become regulars for emailing in. I just want to say that we're pretty friendly.
Yeah.
So if you have things to say, send us emails.
Well, and
Rich is not friendly.
no.
But he said, go ahead, you can read this part. Well,
Oh,
I'll
just-
read it as Bruce. He says, and anyway, he's commenting on the funny exchanges, like the one with Damon and his French class. What is it you said about the French class?
So what happened was when we were emailing back and forth, I noticed that you can have a pre-programmed tag at the bottom of your email. I noticed that he had it in English and then the same phrase in French. And I was an idiot in high school and took French. I live in Utah, and for those of you guys who don't know, Utah has a very, very large Latino population,
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty landlocked.
and we're a landlocked. We don't have French people in Utah is the point I'm getting at. Like, there is no reason for me to take French, except for in my high school brain, I was like, if I speak as a French, then all the ladies will love me so much.
Yeah.
And so I took French, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, je parle français, in my email, and I didn't even check it on Google Translate. I just did my very best. Come to find out, he's like,
He's a French
not only
teacher.
is he a francophone, but like, he's a French teacher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I sounded like ridiculous or not. He's like, I teach third graders. It's like at least on that level.
Yeah, and he's the one that we shouted out at the beginning of the show that wrote the
Yeah.
article on the land. So, like I said, check the show notes for that link.
And
But
for you people who are interested to pick up girls, his advice,
It
learn
is.
how to dance fancy.
Yeah.
Because
says
guys who can like swing dance or something are going to be the ones who pick up the girls, not the French speakers necessarily.
he says he got it wrong. French doesn't pick up girls. Learning to dance gets you girls. Okay. Anyway, next email was from Aaron.
Literally, it helps you pick up girls.
Oh, is that what he meant?
No.
Okay,
well,
gotcha.
well, that and everybody knows that no girl can resist the tentacle. Emrakul.
I was
Emrakul
going to
dance?
say it's the Emrakul dance.
I
Wow,
didn't know where you were
that's
going
a
with that.
Asian.
that's a multi Emrakul dance episode. I think it's a first for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways,
Aaron says, hey guys, I really enjoy the podcast and the YouTube broadcast of the stream. I wanted to weigh in on something you all touched on in episode 45 and 46. You were addressing the concern that you may have unintentionally offended some players when you were talking about how the new PPTQ process will, quote, weed out decks of players, decks or players that don't necessarily belong in the PTQs and beyond. My personal feeling about the issue is complex. On the one hand, you're stating the fact as they are about the mindset of serious players is nothing to be offended about. It is what it is, and I don't think there is any reason for a change. On the other hand, there is something I don't like about the mindset itself or our acceptance of it. Yeah, so that is kind of a double-minded
Yeah.
way of looking at it. For the record, I am a casual player and have no aspirations beyond playing at the occasional F&M game day and pre-release. That being said, there are always those players at the local game store who are either legitimately or delusionally playing with higher aspirations in mind. It bothers me as a player that depending on the format, we have hundreds of, or possibly thousands of cards available to play with, and we are continually seeing the same half-dozen brews show up. There is something fundamentally unsettling to me about someone who is considered to be a good player but isn't creative enough to come up with something effective on their own. It seems one-dimensional. They copy a deck list, watch coverage of it in action to learn how to pilot it, and bring it down to the LGS to impress the rest of us with their skills. I appreciate that there are a certain number of synergistic interactions that are really potent in a format. For that reason, I get it when we see similar concepts in decks. But seeing the same exact deck list over and over is really dull. The upside of this silliness is that I know what I am up against almost all of the time, and it takes great pleasure, and I take great pleasure in throwing a curveball at these clowns when I can. It is sad.
Reading the email. Sorry.
It is sad to me that these players do not know how to respond if they can't identify what deck they are up against. And by sad, I mean funny. Damon's acting this out as though he was a mime. If you look at what happens in the local, this is a long email, but this is good. If you look at what happens in the local game shop and project that that onto the GP level and above, I really don't have a lot of sympathy for someone who would complain about having to face stuff they aren't prepared for in a fair match. If the object is to determine who's the best player in Magic, shouldn't we reward those who can really and truly navigate the meta without training wheels? In footballs, they say that on any given Sunday, the worst team in the league can beat the best team in the league. Magic players pick their team with great intentions. Variables are a part of the game, and I'm not sure that limiting those variables gives us the best level of competitive competition possible. To be clear, I am not trying to offend or put down anyone who has worked hard to achieve success in MTG community. They operate on a level far beyond what I can even comprehend. I respect them for having the drive and focus to succeed in the system. I believe the system has evolved to the point of its own accord. There is no
or
ominous
there's no ominous
Ominous
they.
to point the finger at here. I wonder if I am alone in feeling this way, or if it's just never occurred to anyone to question what it is we are doing here. Sorry for the rant. Keep up the good work. So that was a long email.
Yeah, but very thoughtful.
Thanks.
Like
That very well written, thought out,
and
Aaron.
the fact that somebody would take like the time to really like express themselves that well, it's just like I listen to podcasts sometimes that I love, and like I'm just like that was a good podcast, and like I move on.
And you move on.
Yeah,
and
so the
this
fact
guy's
that
like
people
actually, Aaron's actually
take the
thinking
time,
through this
yeah,
and saying.
I really appreciate that.
So, I don't know. What do you think?
So like,
'Cause
for me, like I know, like we've had some guys come in the shop and they're like, yeah, blah blah. You guys talk about the whole elitism, in these Pro Tour qualifiers and whatever and stuff like that. And I didn't really think 2 weeks ago when we talked about it, it was actually going to kind of
And be something.
cause like not rifts, I guess, even in our own like community, But I think really like what we could take from this is like there is a certain amount of elitism stigma in this, not necessarily professional Magic, but the people who are aspiring, like you said, Aaron, to become professional Magic players. They,
Or think that they are.
Or think
Or
that they
even
are.
semi-professional.
Right? Or even semi-professional to an extent, Like, there's a certain amount of elitism stigma, and I think that really, like, we as, a community, the only way that we're going to be able to change that is if we change ourselves and not give in to that pressure. And then also, hopefully kind of cultivate, I mean, that's the idea at your LGS, you can cultivate a certain amount of like not necessarily personality, but like you know what I mean, like tolerance,
Right.
I guess, for this, right? Like
right, and then you're
nobody
also
wa-
bringing people along, right? Like if you feel like there are
Right.
people who aren't there, or people who you're seeing actively want to get better, that those people are being taken along and kind of
Right.
like apprenticed, right?
Yeah, if you can either go be the guru or whatever for somebody who wants to be a better player or whatever, or you can let the guy who's being the elitist stigma be the guru. Which one do you think is going to be better as
Right.
as a whole for the community? I guess. I mean, that sounds really weird and kind of don't take everything too literally.
No, it
but
makes sense.
I think that we just as a community we can help this stigma out by fixing, like, doing what we do and not, you know what I mean?
I like what he
Well,
said here, though. This is basically the key to it all, I think.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we reward those who can really and truly navigate the meta without training wheels?
Yes, but even with that, training wheels can help, but that's another thing of just building on the shoulder of giants. This one person built this training wheel deck that you can now take and then learn all the interactions about, and then you then get to decide,
Yeah.
is this deck a good choice for this current
But
meta?
it's not whether or not that's an okay thing. That's whether or not we should say, well, that's the right way to play, and there is no, and the wrong way to play is
Right.
some
It's-
niche rogue deck that.
It all depends on what route you take with it and what methods you are using to determine what is going to be the best deck for said
Right.
tournament.
So I know that we've talked about this, the idea of like rogue deck building or homebrewing versus like meta, professional deck lists, or net deckers as people like to refer to them as.
Mhm.
We've talked about this before with Kevin from Rogue Deck Builder, you know what I mean? And I think really what it comes down to is like, you can have somebody show up to your house and hand you car parts and say, here, build a car. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to enjoy building a car. They're going to be able to do tons of cool things with it, right? And some people are like, I don't want to build a car.
And
I
there's
just
going to be
wanna
some people that
drive a car."
try to build a car and it won't look anything like a car.
Right. So they're like, why is that a tank or is that a refrigerator? I don't know what's going
Appreciate
on.
your wagon.
Yeah.
It's a nice wagon.
Right.
But like the idea is though, like, but there's some people who just want to just build the car. They don't want to necessarily put the time and effort in to build one, and that's fine. That's their preference, and it's not our job as homebrewers to get mad at those people for wanting to play that deck, and it's not their job as net deckers to get mad at us for being homebrewers. I think that we just really need to coexist and realize that this is a card game. And we should just have fun and enjoy it for what it is. And I mean,
Those coexist stickers you see on cars sometimes?
Yeah.
I saw one the other
Mana
day.
symbols?
Well, I think that'd be cool with mana symbols, but I think I saw one with like references to video games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
what's going on with the security and privacy?
I don't know. It probably.
Okay, we're still live though.
Yeah, we're still fine.
Okay.
Oh,
But
that's-
yeah, like I just You know what I mean? There's a lot of controversy, and I mean, there's a lot of people that like to play multiplayer. There's a lot of people that like to play 1v1. There's a lot of people who like just to draft and EDH, and that's one of the reasons why like we do what we do here at the MTGYou is we try to like, I guess shed some light on a lot of different aspects of this game, and maybe kind of help open your eyes, or maybe even I guess try to convert you to try some new things and enjoy this game to its fullest, right? So.
Right. Anyway, we can move along here. I was trying to get into my iTunes, so that's why that messed up. Trying to see if there's any. I don't think I have any new. I looked yesterday, and I didn't have any new iTunes reviews as of yesterday, which means, people listening, I need a new iTunes review. 5-star review gets you a chance to win
one of regional coordinator Judge Jeremy's many Grand Prix playmats that he owns. Your sort of pick of the litter, as it were.
Yeah.
He's got a big collection. And some of these mats are like not inexpensive if you wanted to buy them on eBay or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. It's a significant thing, and you might win if you give us a 5-star review, because we're going to pick a random winner at the end of the year, it's actually approaching more quickly than I thought. I mean, we've actually been podcasting. This is episode 47. In 5 weeks, or is it 4 weeks, we will have been doing this 1 year.
In 2 weeks, I start school.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Yep.
New semester.
So, contest. That is the contest that's going on right now. Soon we'll be probably doing another Zoom, MTGYou. Is that the...
I think it's just MTG Zoom, right? Or MTGYou Zoom.
Zoom. We'll be starting another one. Maybe next week we'll start that. I don't know. The poll, we've had pretty good luck. Remember last week we were trying to figure out what the poll was?
Yes.
I came up with one.
Sweet.
Who's the sexiest member?
That was what we discussed doing.
Which one would you rather see in a photo shoot of?
In a Magic the Gathering catalog?
Question.
Yes.
Of you three, I haven't actually told you what the poll is.
No.
Have any of you been to the website to find...
Totally.
Totally.
I checked it every day.
Okay, but guess what? 26 people have.
Oh, no. What
That's
was
awesome.
it?
Favorite format. What is your favorite Magic format to play?
Shoot.
26 people
You
have
scared
voted.
me, dear sir.
Yes. So far, 4 have said standard, 13 modern, 0 legacy, 2 draft,
Oh, shoot. I clicked modern, but I meant draft. Darn it. I'll have to vote again.
sealed 1, and EDH 5. So we have modern coming in first, followed by EDH, and then standard, with still a little bit on draft and 1 on sealed, none on legacy. So thanks for voting, and if you haven't voted, go and vote. I think I'm just really happy that we have 26 people out there that have gone and, at some point, I can't wait till we're getting 100 votes a week. I'm going to leave this up for 1 more week, and then we will change it up again. So thanks for those of you that voted, and go vote. We want to know, because that actually helps. These polls actually help us
Guide our content, right?
Right, it does. So, asking who the best looking is doesn't really help guide our content.
I
So.
strongly disagree.
It helps us decide who should be sitting in the middle. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Who needs a bag over their head?
Oh, you guys are funny. And
Meet you in the parking lot tonight.
and so give us if you want to shout out, send us email, give us a 5-star review, tweet us questions, send us email.
Do we want to do a really, really quick tag? I just feel like next week is really important, and I feel like building hype. Is that a
I
thing
think
we're allowed
so.
to do?
No, I think that you're totally right. I sort of alluded to it earlier, but I think that now is a good time to mention this. Next week, we have actually kind of an exciting show. I'm really looking forward to this. Go ahead, Damon.
So we will be having the creator of the Lady Planeswalker Society joining us here via Skype, probably on our show.
Via Skype.
Tifa Robles is her name.
She used to work. She worked for
As a brand manager for Wizards of the Coast for a time. She started in customer service, and she got a job right out of college, which is really exciting. But then, as she continued to work there longer, and started trying to find a way for women to be treated equally at Magic tournaments and stuff like that, and so it caused her to sort of start this this group, Lady Planeswalker Society, that's just taken off. It kind of eventually became clear to her that she wanted to work outside of the walls of Wizards of the Coast because there's a lot of rules about what you can do as far as interviews and social media and stuff like that. So, anyways, she's not there anymore, so she can be pretty open with her interviews, and she's agreed to hang out and talk with us. And again, we just want to be a positive force in the community, and I feel like she can help us be better equipped on how to help. When
everybody
women
feel included,
come into a shop. I think that people want to do the right thing, but maybe sometimes there's just some common pitfalls. So I know that a lot of the questions I ask are going to be sort of focused around that. How do we make people feel the very best about coming and playing at our store? Because again, the more people that your store has, the more healthy your community is. The better that is for everybody. So
yeah, I am really looking forward to next week, and that's going to be excellent. So I guess that pretty much wraps it up for this week.
Yeah.
Are we ready to
end step it?
Put this into the can?
End step.
If you want to contact us, you can send email to mtgupodcast@gmail.com. Interact with us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/mtgu. Follow us on Twitter @themtgu. Catch us live on Thursday nights on twitch.tv/mtgu. Subscribe and like us on YouTube. Find us at youtube.com/themtgu. We're also on Stitcher. So for the MTGYou podcast,
I'm Damon.
I'm Blades.
I'm Rich.
And I'm James. Now we pass the turn to you.
That is so cheesy. Are we really going to start doing that now?
I started it.
That's so horrible.
What,
just
the
saying.
point?
The point.
Yeah.
What is even up with
Oh,
that?
I think we need to go like this. Now we pass the turn to you. Do the universal symbol for passing the turn.
Yeah. And sometimes.
Don't you notice that? It's like
Damon's like this.
Yeah, because I'm survey the board,
Go.
survey the board, and I do this weird knuckle point thing, and then I do a flick. My lands, my creatures, my spells, go.
And then untap. Oh, wait.
Sorry, you flickied the fingers.
You flickied.
It counts. You are passing the turn.
Judge.
yeah. So I guess we should work on passing the turn to you this way.
I don't know.
You can do it however you want, but that's kind of when you pass the turn, you kind of make a hand symbol that says.
I like it. Yeah.
I think we need more spirit fingers, personally.
And now we
The
scoop.
world needs more spirit fingers.
Yeah.
Oh God, that makes me so depressed. I feel like that's when the band.
don't go there.
If the band ever breaks up, and
Oh,
with the end phase.
It's never gonna happen. Now we scoop.
Scoop.
Damon would cry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll just have one
I don't
more
wanna
free
think
week.
about that.
Free day of my week. Just kidding.
Jazz hands is where it's at.
So let's talk about what's coming up next.
Yeah, hey, we're going to be doing Standard Fight Club, Damon versus Blades. Blades is going to be playing the classic red-white burn deck, and I will be piloting this crazy brew that happened to take down a daily event on Magic the Gathering Online. It uses a lot of Court of Calling, and then a bunch of tokens, and a bunch of cool synergies. The deck just excites me. It's red, blue, green, which is my favorite color combo in EDH. I just want to... I want to just buy all
Is
this
it
stuff.
a pretty hard deck?
Damon
seems
just
really
wanna
cool.
have fun.
Seems pretty cool, man.
So we're gonna tear down the studio, put it back together really fast. The decks are built. We won't be very long, right?
Right.
Should be
I just need 2 Xenagos and a Chandra
Yep.
to borrow these
Yep.
from my good friends.
So we will be back
From your plebes?
in 5 minutes, and we will be playing.
Yep.
So all right, say goodbye, guys. See you in a sec.
Bye, guys.
10 minutes.